Today is Tuesday, March 19th. Council Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Calling the roll, Ms. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is absent at the moment. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I understand Councilman Jones will be unable to attend, and while it is not required, I'd like to make a motion to excuse his absence. Do I have a second? It's been moved and second. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay, any public comment?
No, Madam Chair, no one is signed in.
All right, we have the meeting minutes from the March 5th meeting before us. I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? It's been moved and second. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns regarding the meetings, all in favor, meeting minutes, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, if you read the first and only item into the record, please.
Resolution number 2019-0065, approving the reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument Commission Board of Trustees for the term 4/16/2019 to 4/15/2024.
As I understand that this is our list of appointments, so I'm going to turn it over to our staff to let us know a little bit about this board and commission and the candidates before us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you mentioned, this is a council appointment. It
If you'll
is.
state your name for the record.
Oh, yeah,
please.
Khalil Sarin, council staff.
Thank you.
Once again, this is a council appointment. The charter provides this, the ORC provides the responsibility to make these appointments to the taxing and budgeting authority of the county, and that is the council. So this is one of those few appointments that is exclusively the power and duty of the council. These terms are for 5 years, and the terms that the three people who are currently before you to be reappointed, those terms are up in April 15th. The new terms start on April 16th and will last for 5 years after that. Each one of these individuals have shown themselves to be valuable members of the commission. This is reported as well by the president of the commission, Ted Prassi, who has provided a statement requesting that these three individuals be reappointed for their contribution to the Monument Commission. We also have Mr. Daly here if you'd like to ask him any questions about the function of the Monument Commission on the staff level, and we've got Mr. Shakarian and Judge Connolly here as well to answer any questions that you might have about their service.
All right, thank you very much. With that said, we will bring our first candidate up for reappointment, Judge C. Ellen Connolly. If you'll please step forward and state your name for the record and why it is you desire to continue to serve on this commission.
Good morning, C. Ellen Connolly. As most of you know, I'm involved in a lot of historical projects. I'm president-elect of the Cleveland Civil War Roundtable, and so the Soldiers and Sailors Monument fits right into my wheelhouse. We have, in the last year or so, really stepped up our involvement. We have more committee meetings, and we are planning in the 125th anniversary of the dedication on July the 4th, 2019. So we hope all of you will join with us. We are in the process of seeing if Governor DeWine will join us. At the original dedication, Governor McKinley, who was the last Civil War veteran who became President of the United States, was in attendance. And so we have worked in a lot of different areas. We now have 2 interns, thanks to some finances from the county, who work during the summer months to help staff and also do some additional research. We have a very active project that we have now gotten 107 additional names of from the United States colored troops to be added to the wall that were not added to the wall at the time of the original dedication. And that's been a very, very thorough process. And we have additional visitors. Our finances are okay. We also have a stone left over from the remodeling, which is available to any community projects that have a contact with the Civil War, which we're willing to give away. And so if you have like a cemetery or something in your community, we are in the process of trying to give that away for recycling. And so it's among my other various undertakings. This is one that I really have a lot of dedication to, and I would like to continue to serve.
Thank you very much. You mentioned there will be 107 new names added. Can you touch on the qualifications or how those names were determined?
I'm not the biggest expert on this, but people signed up for the war. Okay, the names on the wall. Wait a minute, why don't we have Tim come? Yeah, you're doing better than that because I a little bit more.
And if you'll state your name for the record.
Sure. Tim Daly, Executive Director of the Soldiers Sailors Monument. Back in 2012, we were approached by Paul LaRue, who was a high school history teacher, who came up with some data that suggested there were additional African Americans from Cuyahoga County who may be eligible to be honored. This set off a 7-year research project that we have been working on. The board back in 2012 determined that there was enough information to justify us going into the research, and we then entered into a formal historical research using prime reference material of Ohio rosters, pension records, and other genealogical information. And we, based upon the original criteria of having been from Cuyahoga County and served honorably, we were able to go back to records that did not exist in 1894. The main reason that a lot of these gentlemen were not included was we depended on the Ohio roster in the Civil War, which was published between 1888 and 1894. And the problem is the last entry usually was they were mustered out or they completed their tour of service. For several of these units, those records did not exist in Columbus in the Adjutant General's office, and so they said no further information. What allowed us to create their record was that in 1892, a general pension law was created that said if you served 90 days honorably, you were eligible to receive a $12 a month pension. And so in the National Archives in Washington, D.C. are the pension records. So if these gentlemen served honorably and applied for a pension, then they were given a pension. That meant they served honorably. And so we were able to plug that hole. So Jerry Young, who unfortunately is not here today because unfortunately went to the old county council chambers and he apologizes for that. Jerry has been on this committee since 2012. Jerry, myself, and John Silvis started with a pool of about 100 names. It went up to about 420. And through this, we have determined solid historically with prime reference material, 107 names, which the board voted in their January meeting of this last year to recognize them. We are in the process of coming up with an appropriate way to honor these men. The final decision on how we're going to honor them has not been determined. We believe it will be a multi-phase program, eventually possibly with an electronic kiosk that will allow us to finally digitize our wall. Tied into this is the research of our interns. My goal as executive director for 10 years has been to have a standardized biography on our 9,000 names. We started that research last year. So by using prime reference material, my 2 interns assisted with my staff of 2, were able to come up with the first drafts of over 1,000 of those primary biographies. And this is the type of research we're doing. So it's very exciting. It is groundbreaking research. And we're looking forward to making a formal announcement probably in the month of April. But that will be a major part of our July 4th celebration when we recognize these men who were not initially included. And just to let you know that we do have a history in the monument of making additions to the Ohio roster. So even from the first day that it was open, the custodians kept a list of gentlemen who would come in and say, hey, I believe I should be on the walls. And so when we had room on the walls, we actually engraved them. And then in the 1950s, there appears to have been a major movement to put over 125 additional names, which at that time also also included an additional African American who served in the 27th United States Colored Troops. So the history of adding to the Ohio Ross to our roll of honor is something that's not new. It's something we've done since day one. So this is a continuation of our original.
But we can't change the wall because there's no more space.
But that doesn't mean we can't add them to the roll of honor. And that's what we're planning on doing and recognizing them. It's not
Oh,
right.
we also hired the first woman employee.
Yes,
No,
yes.
so we have a female staff person now, so.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. I'll open the questions up to my colleagues. Hello, I don't know where that ringing is coming from. So,
Okay.
do you have any questions, Councilman Miller?
And if any of your constituents would like to come down for a tour at any time, just let us know, and we are always available, and I serve as a docent, so I can always give you a tour. I know Mike had some of his folks come down.
Madam Chair, Ms. C. Allen, thank you very much for your willingness to serve. I couldn't think of anybody better qualified to
Thank you.
serve in this particular area. And my question is as to whether the Soldiers and Sailors Monument has significant capital expenditure needs that are going to need to be addressed over the next couple of years, or whether
Yeah, we do.
we're
I know.
in pretty good shape.
We've been spending money on our lift because back when it was dedicated, there was no issue about handicap accessible. So we had some major expenditures about the lift for the handicap. And then we have some heating, and Burge Shakarian, who was also, we used to be the county architect, he can address some of those, but we have some heating and air conditioning issues and repointing.
Mr. Councilman, the county Public Works has been working on our upper esplanade with regards to the joints and to remediate some water issues, and they have been working very hard the last couple of years on that. So Public Works has been very good to us in supporting our needs. And I know that we're probably going to be looking at waxing the outdoor statuary, and we're probably going to be looking at about $35,000 for that coming up on the radar within the next year or so, I believe, sir.
Yeah, those statues have to be, there's only a couple of people in the country that do that, and they have to come in and be waxed. And then we're always looking at security issues. So we're in pretty good shape now, but we can always think about updating our security issues. And how many visitors did we have last year?
We had 42,000 according to our count, so we're doing rather well. We're maintaining about 3,500 a month, which is exceptional based upon the type of monument and the point that we do not charge any admission because the people of Cuyahoga County own this monument. And so we're hoping that this year with the tall ships, with the dedication, Major League Baseball all coming in, we're looking forward to working with them. The other thing too is we worked with Navy Week Cleveland, and we're establishing a very good relationship. It looks like we may be tapped into to assist them with their programming on the new USS Cleveland that has just been announced. So we've got a lot of new and exciting things that we're working forward to expanding our visitation, sir.
But we could always take some more money.
Thank you. Okay.
Councilwoman Conwell.
Do you guys have a website?
Yes.
Okay. Is that where, do we ask for donations on the website?
Yeah, we ask for donations. We also have a donation box where people drop in, some dollars. I always kind of like to make the donation box a little bit more prominent. Tim and I kind of have a fight over that. We sell T-shirts and we sell magnets, so we make a little bit money on the T-shirts and the magnets and some books. Oh, and we have the book coming out. we got one of those big coffee table type books, and it's going to be on the monument. And Schofield, who was the architect.
Madam Councilwoman, with regards to the donation, we do not currently have a 501c3 set up. So people are able to make a donation because we are a quasi-government agency, and we leave them to them to determine the tax ramifications. We are looking at reestablishing our 501c3. That's something else that Judge Conley is working on us for that. With regards to the book, we contracted with Lauren Puccini, who is an architectural photographer. He's done several books. The last one was Cleveland A to Z with John Grabowski from Case Western Reserve, and we're in the final edition stages. It'll be approximately 150 pages with all new colored photographs showing the $2 million renovation and the history. And more importantly, we'll also showcase the remaining works of Mr. Schofield who still exist in there. And there's approximately 12 major pieces of architecture, one of which being the Schofield building right across the street. So we're very excited. That is set to be out by June 30th in time for our dedication.
Yeah, we need to have a friends group. It's really very difficult. Parking is a problem. It's a problem with visitors, if you're not on foot and it's hard to park. And we don't kind of have a natural constituency, but we have some volunteers, so we're working on it.
Any additional questions, comments, or concerns from the committee? All right, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Judge Connolly. Good to see you. Our next candidate for reappointment, and I'm not going to even attempt to.
It's not that hard.
Bert Shakarian, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As the former Cuyahoga County architect, besides many other projects, I have repaired, restored, renovated, and saved this national patrimony of the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. However, my most gratifying effort was the complete restoration of the monument in 2009. It is a delight of memory and colors. It was on time and within budget. That was my last project as the Cuyahoga County architect. I'm very proud of it. In this regard, I thank you for allowing me to keep an eye on this Cleveland landmark by appointing me to this commission. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, I'll open it up to my colleagues. We'll start with Councilwoman Conwell.
Through the chair to Mr. Shakarian, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am good. So I know you've been a part of the cultural gardens.
Oh, yes.
Same as I. So just wondering, because I kind of had a thought when Judge Connolly was speaking about the stone. So you've seen the stone. Do you think that that could be where the stone could be donated to the cultural gardens, because you have a background of both?
It could be, yes. Are you referring to the granite pavers? The original granite pavers?
Okay.
We could use them, yes, in one way or the other, or if not, the other nationalities could use it
Okay.
in their gardens.
Okay.
You know,
Is that the same as the stone?
yes,
Okay.
right. So,
I
no,
would-
absolutely. And that's beautiful granite. I mean, I used that when I did a quadrant
Okay.
back in '89. I redid the whole quadrant. So, I mean, it's a beautiful material. It's better than what they use now in Public Square.
I don't know. Are you still on the cultural gardens?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing the Centennial Plaza.
Okay.
And I won that in a limited competition. So that's
So
what I'm
could
doing.
this be used for the Centennial Plaza?
At this time, I have specified permeable pavers.
Okay.
And because of that, we got a $100,000 grant from the sewer district. And I don't know if I can change that, you know,
Okay.
at this point.
All right.
But I'm sure throughout the gardens, we should be able to use that.
Okay. And what is the size of the stone or the pavers?
The
size?
The area that covers it,
Right.
it's about 9,000 square feet.
Okay.
Madam Councilman, we have approximately 100 pallets of it. They go from 6-inch to 6-inch squares all the way to 2 foot by 2 foot. Also by our former steps, which are approximately 4 to 5 feet long by 2 feet wide. So we have a wide variety. We did use some that were
At the veterans.
at the veterans, and also we're working with the Gold Star Family Monument for their phase 2. We're talking about possibly using some of that to make benches. So there's a wide variety. It's currently stored at the York Road facility.
Okay. Thank you.
But as far as the gardens, whatever is left over, we can use them. Yes.
Okay.
That's a beautiful material too. So,
So you'll stay on that.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns from the committee? All right, well, we thank you for your service and the work that you've done to maintain and your willingness to be a part of this commission. I understand, as it has been stated, Mr. Young is unable to join us today, but I would respectfully request Mr. Tim Daly come up, and if you'd like to speak on his behalf briefly with regards for your accounts with this candidate.
Yes, thank you. So Mr. Jerry Young actually is a descendant of a Civil War veteran. He had a gentleman who served in the sharpshooters whose name is on the wall, so he, like myself, has a personal connection. Jerry is a veteran of the United States Air Force during the Vietnam era. He was a aircraft mechanic. Jerry has been very active in our organization, even going back to 2004 when Mr. Neil Evans created our first support group, and he has done major research. Jerry is the one who actually brought us the information regarding the United States Colored Troops to the information, and Jerry has been a key player of the three-person committee who has been doing the research in the United States Colored Troops. In addition to that, he is oftentimes helping to supplement the staffing of the monument, and more importantly, for the last 7 years, he has played Santa Claus for us. And so we've opened up the monument for Christmas, and we now offer Santa Claus. And for the past 7 years, we have several families who it is now a tradition to come to the Soldier Sailors Monument to get their photos with Santa Claus because they can take all the free photos they want. So we had just about 2,600 people this year. So it's a major event that people look forward to, and we're establishing traditions for people to come to the monument. So Jerry has been very punctual in his attendance, just as the other two here have been, and I would respectfully request that Jerry be placed for good consideration for reappointment for the 5 years, starting in February of 2019 through through April of 2024.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns from the Yes, Councilwoman Conwell?
Through the chair to Mr. Daly, Judge Connolly mentioned about parking. Where do the visitors currently park now?
Well, there are a couple handicap slots on Superior Avenue right by 200 Public Square. Those are usually taken up. Our next recommendation is either Tower City, where they're able to park down below and come up through Tower City protected, or if there's not a major event, we recommend the surface lots across from the Renaissance Hotel on West 3rd Street. Those are the cheapest. Unfortunately, especially during the summer with special events, the parking rates, we all know, go up accordingly. And so we recommend that. That's just one of our ongoing challenges that we've had, and we continue to try to address it as best as we can. Now, for the rededication, it's our hope to cut a deal. Now, we've had several times where we've cut deals with parking lots for special events. So in 2015, when we did our Lincoln Day observance and we recreated the funeral procession in Cleveland, we actually had a parking lot on West 3rd who gave us a $5 a car rate because it was a weekend that they weren't doing anything. They understood. We are hoping to be able to cut a deal for July 4th with one of the parking lots. We understand that it's Major League Baseball weekend, but that starts on Friday. So we're hoping that since it's Thursday, we may get one parking lot who may be willing to give us a cut deal for our visitors.
So you don't have any particular one that's a friend of the soldier?
No, I can tell you that the BP building, 200 Public Square, has been very good to us. When we went into renovation in 2009 and they donated an office for us to use for the construction, they gave us subsidized parking there. Originally it was $5, and then it ended up going to up a little bit. And then even when they had to ask us to leave the office because it was needed, they still allow us to purchase a limited number of our parking passes. So even though we're not formally there, they allow me to purchase approximately 20 to 25 passes at a time at a discounted rate of 10. And so that's what we use when we have our events for our volunteers. That's what the commissioners use when we bring them down for our meetings, but we try not to abuse that, and we try to be very respectful of their donation that they're willing to do, because that parking garage is $18 a day.
Surprisingly, our most clientele have been the out-of-town tourists. So in that regard, parking hasn't been an issue. I mean, you have the numbers as far as the out-of-town
Oh, yeah.
tourists.
90% of our visitors are out-of-towners.
During the Republican convention, this was a magnet. I mean, as far as people walking in and looking at things and embracing Abraham Lincoln, and I mean, so there was no need for parking. So in a limited sense, the parking is an issue, but it's not an issue.
Okay. I was wondering about the Muni lot. Sometimes working out something with the Muni lot to
That might be a
transport
possibility.
individuals. And is it I know there's been a lot of redesign of the public square. Is it right? Is there a bus that drops off right there at the monument?
The only bus that drops off is the one that is coming through Superior Avenue. There's actually 2 bus stops, but they only use the one, and we've been asking RTA to remove the other one because it blocks our view. We haven't been successful with that one yet, but that is the only bus stop used, is on the north side on Superior Avenue. There are bus lanes around the monument, but that is the only bus stop on the north side.
Thank you.
Just a couple questions with regards to Santa. Is that in coordination with the lighting?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So we always work we're part of the Winterfest. We have been formerly part of the Winterfest for the past 5 or 6 years, and they put us on their listing. And so we make sure that we usually close up a half hour before they start their program, so that we're not interfering, because we normally oftentimes are in the fireworks zone for safety. So, but we coordinate with them very well.
Okay, good. That's my only question. Any other questions, comments, or concerns from the committee? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and just like the record to reflect that all the candidates have provided bios and resumes, and so without further ado, I would like to make a motion to move this to the full body of the council, and it looks like we have enough time to do a 3rd reading. So do I have a second? All right, it's been moved in second. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, thank you very much. Any miscellaneous business from the committee? There being none, this meeting is adjourned.